All right, let's talk about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I tell you what, no one is talking about Notre Dame right now. They are clearly one of the contenders, obviously, to reach the college football playoff. They've done it battling through some adversity, obviously, a new change at quarterback, a few different players stepping up in big roles. But the big reason they find themselves bouncing back after a really disappointing defeat to Northern Illinois early in the season is intelligent leadership, namely by the coaching staff and, of course, Coach Freeman. And we've got a new report highlighting exactly the smart moves he's making, one in particular. Exciting news out of South Bend. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, talking about the Irish here, obviously one of the better teams in college football, sliding under the radar just because they had that really disappointing defeat early in the year, but they've been playing really good football. They look like one of the top contenders in the country. I think they're ready to make some noise if they finish strong and make the college football playoff. But what Coach Freeman he's done a great job focusing on the short term, but also on the long term, developing players. He's a players coach, but he doesn't do it by being soft on the players. He does it by putting them and the program simultaneously in positions to be successful. Let's pull up the latest evidence of that. This is a report courtesy of Athlon Sports. Freshmen Micah Gilbert, Kedron Young, Teddy Razak, and Gerby Lambert have each played in 3 games and could play in one more game this month and still preserve their red shirts. By the way, if I mispronounce their names there, I apologize. We've had those conversations about guys that have played 3 or 4 games, Freeman explained. Do we want to burn his red shirt? There's guys that haven't played that we can utilize maybe in a special teams role or offensive or defensive role. There are some freshmen who we said, hey, put him as a backup on special teams right now in case the starter goes down. Maybe we can get him in the game because it won't burn his red shirt. All freshmen are available in that realm if they haven't played, especially in home games where you're not worried about travel roster. We have to make sure we can utilize some of those guys. I love the roster management. I love the player management here. Going back to my days of playing college football, I never saw anything at this level that we're seeing from Coach Freeman. I got some thoughts, but Miles, I know you've got some insight as well. But first, Notre Dame fans in the comment section below, obviously, the tough start to the season with the defeat to Northern Illinois, but a great bounce back. I'm going to keep hitting it because no one in the media is really talking about it. Up to this point, give us your MVP of the Fighting Irish this season, right? Is it the quarterback? Is it someone on offense? Maybe it's a lineman that really impressed you. Maybe it's a defender. Whoever it is, give us your MVP of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and put them in the comment section below. But Mice, what are your thoughts involving Notre Dame and this latest report?
Yeah, Nick, you hit it on it. This is just a masterclass in roster management, keeping guys in the fold, keeping your eye on who can redshirt, who can or who has games left, who isn't, making sure guys are available in key moments, things like that. I think this is a really great job by Coach Freeman because if you look at it, in a loose like war perspective here, I'll use some of this terminology, week to week or like small skirmishes, games week to week or skirmishes. The season itself is like an entire battle. And then the future of the program, let's say, is the war. Freeman's focused on the war. He's saying, look, I know the long term health of this program. I know we got guys that may be special, but maybe we don't, blow the clip right here, right now. Maybe we save some back, keep that red shirt available so we can get more long term use out of some of these special players. I think that's a really good strategy. And like you said, I'm sure at the highest level of college football, a lot of coaches do this, but not everybody is able to go ahead and manage their assets like this. Because first, you have to get the assets. You have to be able to recruit the players to come in to the team to be able to manage them at this level. Because I'm sure if you're a school and you get like a great quarterback or someone like that, you're wanting them to redshirt, you have to have a quarterback in place that you think is serviceable to begin with. So I think this is a really smart move by Coach Freeman, not only to keep these guys' red shirts intact and really have that on the forefront of his mind, but also for him to be able to recruit and build the roster in such a way that they're able to utilize those red shirts effectively. I think this is a really good sign for Notre Dame because, like as you said, tough loss to Northern Illinois, but outside of that, they've been cruising. They've looked really good this season. Everyone was wondering, tough game against Navy. Navy's undefeated. What's going to happen? They come out and absolutely annihilate them. It looks like they have a pretty crisp schedule the rest of the season as well. I expect them to cruise through that. By the way, the showing they put up against Navy. So I think we're going to see something special out of Notre Dame. And I love that Freeman is keeping some guys in the reserve to keep this program going on for years to come.
I have a little personal experience here because I was redshirted when I played college football, and I can tell you it's absolutely miserable, right? Because you're not playing, you have no real chance of playing at least significantly. And it's really, really tough, right? To go through an entire season of practice and be completely redshirted and know like you have no shot of really seeing the field, except for maybe some random special teams opportunities here and there. It just kind of stinks. So what Freeman is doing here is very smart. He's keeping these young freshmen engaged because obviously putting them in some special teams for 3 or 4 games without burning their redshirt keeps them engaged, allows them to play football, allows them to stay on top of their skill sets and feel like they're part of the team. Because one of the things that really hurt me, and I'm going to be honest, I never really developed into a great college football player, is I think I went from being a great high school player, I'll say very good, not trying to toot my own horn here a little bit. But the reality was I was good in high school, and my redshirt year I didn't play at all. Then I had to take a little more time my sophomore year to figure it out. That time off from playing a lot of games, it really slowed my development as a college football player. I think Freeman's taken a smart approach here, getting some guys some early action without just without total disregard for the red shirts. He's not burning them stupidly. We've seen other programs. I think Oklahoma recently actually burned a couple red shirts, kind of dumb. I think we look at Notre Dame handling that intelligently. But one thing I really want to point out here is Freeman's comments about using home game rosters for some key backup spots on special teams. I want to say, hallelujah. I am so glad a coach finally figured this out. In my playing days, it would always frustrate me when we'd have our fourth team wide receiver. He wasn't a travel squad guy. He was a sophomore or something like that. Maybe a walk on, who knows? But I'll be honest, he could practice all week and be a pretty darn good backup kick cover guy. But we would always put a true freshman out there, and if someone got hurt, we'd burn their red shirt. And I'd be like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we not using guys that are solid athletes for a backup special teams roles, especially at home, so that we're not burning red shirts for one snap a game against a team you're beating by 50 points? Thank God there's finally a coach in college football that finally has figured that out. It frustrated me to no end when I played. It just, I couldn't understand what the coaches were doing here. Freeman understands this completely. It's a smart move. We talk about it all the time on this channel. Intelligence wins in the long run. We're seeing this season from Notre Dame. I think they finished strong. Obviously, they're a talented bunch, but I think Coach Freeman's strategy and his intelligence will push them over the top, and they'll make a lot of noise come college football playoff time.